Welcome to From Here to There, a podcast presented by Formidable Grooming Products, where we have discussions with leading professionals in the barbering and hairdressing industry on the art, craft and business of hair, discovering what it means and what it takes to become a formidable force in the industry. My name's Paddy, and today we are stoked to have Sammy with us from Busters Barbershop in Tauranga. Welcome, Sammy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the time today. We know it's your day off, so
No worries.
look, really keen to chat to you about sort of your history in the barbering industry. So maybe that's a good place to start. If you want to just take us through sort of how did you get into the industry, where did you start, and your journey until now.
Well, it's a bit of a long one. I left school at about 15, 16, and I went straight into hairdressing. Mainly, it's just what everyone was doing. I did always like hair, always doing my hair, my friend's hair. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. It wasn't really for me. I don't know if I was too young at the time, just not focused. I got to the end of the year. I think it was 3 years for hairdressing. And I just didn't continue into the second or third year, which was like cutting and stuff. So I didn't get to that point, which I wish I did. I should have stayed, because here we are now, like 20 years later. I sort of fluffed around. I just did hospo and retail for years. And then eventually I thought, I'll get back into hairdressing. Like, I'll give it another go. I've grown up a bit now and stopped partying. But I thought, well, if I didn't like it, maybe I should do something different, but the same, but different. I went into beauty therapy, and then carried on and did massage and holistic therapies. Then carried on, I did makeup artistry, special effects. All this time I was like, I want to do hair, but I just kept continuing with other things. And nails, laser hair removal, just all the beauty stuff.
You've done everything in beauty pretty much, eh?
Yeah. That's good. I liked it. I don't know why I didn't want to do it as a job. I liked it for myself. I still wanted to do hairdressing, and then a barbering course happened to evolve where I was studying, and I went with that, and now we're here.
Crazy. So did you find, like, when you were doing all those other bits and pieces like hair, makeup and nails and everything, did you feel like you were just still searching for the thing that was the right click for you? And is that barbering? Do you think that's sort of where you'll stay, or what's your, yeah? Yeah,
definitely barbering. Haven't looked back.
Cool.
Hairdressing is good. I do like hairdressing, but it's a long process. It's like, 3 to 4 hours sometimes, maybe longer. It's longer hairstyles.
Skill-wise, is it like, how do you find, like, in terms of the skill set that you need to be able to do hairdressing versus barbering? Obviously, like, hairdressing seems to be a quite wide range of skills. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Just like there's work with chemicals, bleaching, perming, colours, long hair, just not into the super long hair. Something more fast.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And is there anything else about barbering that really made it click for you?
Probably going to get judged for this, but working not with women. Not so many women in one room. Yeah.
Space. Yep.
Space.
Yeah, I hear you. Yep. My sister, who works with Sam as well, she did very similar to you, started in hairdressing and then moved gradually into barbering, and she's the one female in the store upstairs. But
nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different dynamic, right? Like, it's kind of different energy, different work environment. And yeah, for the right person, it's about a fit, trying to find the right fit for you. And if that's your fit, then sweet.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I had a
So yeah, and so carry on. Is anything else sort of to your story? You've been at Busters, or did you start under someone, or how did that work?
yeah. I started in another hair salon, barber shop here in the CBD, and
Cool.
me and my partner at the time were both self-employed, working for other people. And after COVID hit, we were like, "Why are we not doing this together?" And now we are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so your partner is so. Tell us about Busters, because it's kind of a cool setup, and like we love the images like on your Insta and everything. Like it's like such a cool shop, but it's also the fusion between, barbering and tattoo artists, right? Is that the combination that you guys two? Yep, and that's you and your partner. Is that right?
Yes, and there is 2 other permanent tattoo artists.
Wow.
Yep. And then we've got like a station for like guest artists.
Nice. And just you doing the barbering?
Just me.
Cool. Talk to us about like that kind of business model, because it's not like totally unique. Like you do see tattoo artists and barbers collaborate and share business quite a bit, like on Instagram and stuff. What's that like for you guys, and sort of why was it a good fit?
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of tattoo and barbershops I found over in Aussie and overseas.
Yeah.
Not
totally.
so many here. It's taken off though. There's plenty now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know why it works so well. It's just like a whole vibe. It's like everyone's just coming together and, I'll get a haircut while I wait, and it's just creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of like a combination service, eh? Do you find that? Like people like use both of you? Yeah, like they go from one side to the other? Is that kind of how it rolls?
Yeah, totally. I've shaved, I don't know how many heads that have been tattooed afterwards.
True.
Yeah. And we're like, yes, this is why we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like you guys make a good team, and your brand too, like, like it's got that kind of feel to it, like it almost looks tattooy, logo wise, imagery wise. It's kind of a cool combination of things, and yeah, the vibe's really cool.
Thanks.
I had a couple more other questions. So obviously a female working in the industry, you're our first female guest.
Yeah.
Talk to us about like sort of that. I mean, obviously you don't know how it compares to being a male in the industry, but sort of your journey in the industry and sort of some of the, I think maybe the positives and maybe also some of the challenges of that, because I know a lot of guys like going to women for their hair for a variety of reasons. But do you want to talk a little bit to that point?
Yeah, sure. I luckily haven't had any problems. I sort of thought I would, but the worst thing would probably be just people coming to the door and, oh, no, it's a hair salon. And
True. No, it's a barbershop. Come in.
Yeah, that's a barbershop. It says barber. I've had customers that say, oh, you're the first female that's cut my hair, or you're the first female that I've let touch my beard. And then I've had other customers that say, oh, men don't like going to men for haircuts. Like, it's always been women that cut men's hair, and it's just bizarre. It's very 50-50. Yeah.
Totally. And I guess to the individual, like I find like, because, my sisters cut my hair, my brothers cut my hair, and I've been to other barbers and stuff. There is a difference in terms of like, I think, particularly with your hairdressing background, maybe you also provide a different set of skills that like maybe not every barber has at their disposal, possibly. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you've done hairdressing prior and then gone into barbering, you've probably got way more of a advantage in every type of hair length. As I said, I didn't really get into cutting when I studied hairdressing, but it's still like just even the sectioning, knowing about hair, what it does, knowing about shampoos, products. Yeah.
True. All that training,
Yeah.
comes in handy, no doubt.
It does.
It's a lot,
Finally,
and like hearing your journey, man.
Yeah, for a while there I thought, oh my gosh, I've got so many certificates and I'm not using any of this. But it's all come together. It's really cool.
Do you have like a wall, just sort of
No,
all scattered there? Or this?
Maybe I should, If I
You
can
could,
fit anything else on the walls.
Yeah, I can see. I love all the stuff on your guys' walls. So talk to us about, I'd love to hear your thoughts on people coming into the industry now. Like we get quite a few listeners who sort of are young to the industry and maybe either apprentices or maybe just finished their apprenticeship.
Yep.
Do you have any sort of advice, or maybe from your own experience, of what you should do, what you shouldn't do, maybe just some tips for people entering the industry?
Yeah. I don't think you need to go to barber school and get a certificate to be a barber. You could, if you got into a really good shop and had a boss that wants to train you and give you an apprenticeship properly, you can go that way. When I finished studying, I went back into retail for a bit until I found a job in a barbershop. And then I slowly stopped working where I was in retail and, just sort of pushed along. I did think I was getting more of an apprenticeship, but it was more it's how you learn, I suppose, just make heaps of mistakes and don't do those mistakes again. So that's always good. Scary, but there's so many different ways. There's not one way. Yeah.
I like, as a barber, I'm not a barber myself, but I can imagine it's a scary prospect, like making your mistakes in real life, you know, and then having to sort of deal with them like I've observed too, sort of apprentices, that Sam's taken on and sort of guiding them through that process, and it feels like a real confidence thing. Like if you come into it as someone who inherently is confident, I think that helps because you know that along the road mistakes will be had, and you're going to have conversations with people, and the boss is going to have to come in and tweak things and fix things. Like that's sort of just definitely part of the deal.
Yeah.
Love it. So I love that advice. So like you don't need to take one path to the industry. If you can hook in with a shop and they sort of back you and support you through your training, then that's an equally valid way to get into it, eh?
Yeah. Any way, just don't give up, really.
Yeah, cool. Any mistakes that well, not mistakes, but things that you would have done differently? Obviously, you did a lot of training to get to where you were barbering, but even in your barbering training itself and your journey in barbering, is there anything that you would have maybe approached slightly differently if you had your time again, and that might help someone who's, I don't know, in a similar position?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like when you get a job in a barbershop and you're an apprenticeship or you're very fresh and green to it, you feel like you have to stay loyal to where you are because you've been given a chance. And
yes,
it wasn't working out where I was. I sort of wanted more. So I was travelling up to Auckland and doing some workshops up there with Barber Evolution and a friend of mine. And I kept thinking, I'll give it another 3 months. So I do think if you think it's not working out for you, there's hundreds of other barbershops as well. Sorry, there's something eating me.
No, that's okay. I like that idea though, like, because you do, like, a lot of people have that sense of pressure that they have to stay with the person that's sort of like taking them on, and but if that place, if you still have a passion for the work, but that place isn't serving you, like, why would you stick around? Like, the world's a big place, and your barbering now is bigger than it's ever been, it feels. You've got all these opportunities at your fingertips, but it does take that leap of faith, to like jump ship.
Yeah, just exploring. Networking is networking would be key, definitely.
Cool. Talk to us about Tauranga and like also your shop. Like it's a unique part of the country, where it's seems to have been growing like crazy in the past decade or more. But like in terms of like the demand for it in your area, but also how do you approach launching a shop and sort of being different? Why would someone come to you over the 5-6 other barbers around that area, sort of thing?
Yeah. Just the whole vibe of the shop, I guess. Everyone's got a different take on what they like. It might be too noisy for some, so they'd prefer to go somewhere quieter. They might not like the music. They might not like the pink walls. And I will cut females here as well if it's something I can do. If it's a men's shaped haircut,
Yeah, cool. Yep.
Gender neutral as well.
Yeah, totally. And there seems to be more and more of that, like Sam gets it too. Like there's regular ladies that come in that are like, it's just like cutting the other guy that's going after him, especially if it's a similar style,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I love that. And like, I guess part of it is like being bold enough to create the shop that you want, like hoping, knowing that like the shop that I want to create that's in my mind, it will attract the kind of people I want to cut, is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We were like, we'll do it kind of like neutral colours, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I wish we could do it like blimmin' pink and blue and like just weird shit. And then my partner's mum was like, well, why don't you? Like, let's go buy the paint now. And we were like, oh my gosh, shall we? Shall we? And we did. And now it's, everyone walks in and they get quite a shock. They're like, whoa. And just trying to make it a little bit more different than, it's more of like a family-ish vibe.
Cool.
Other than there's other lots of, super high-end ones as well around.
Yeah. Yeah, but like staying true to you, And I mean, you have to be there every day. You have to work it. It has to feel it's like your second home, right? So it needs to feel like how you want it to feel. You're not just making it for the customers, It's
yes, yeah.
It's kind of a balance, But love it. A question about marketing, like how do you approach? Love to know how you guys approach sort of marketing your store. Is it simply open the doors, like, open a new business, open the doors and see who comes? Are you doing anything in the community? Are you networking in other sort of areas? How are you, or are you like actually doing like advertising? Like I'd be interested to know, how do you approach getting people into the store?
Definitely, we just opened the doors and see who came in. Lots of social media posts.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't like social media, but it is great. It's free advertising. Like I said before, just networking.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
You guys have got a good following, and also like it's the traditional ways, like the word of mouth, and also hope that you do a good job, and then that person tells 4 other people, and then all of a sudden you got 5 people, that kind of stuff. But then social media does help, and I think it's still relevant today, even though it's a busy channel, because it seems like every shop has a page, and it's like, man, like, but even then, like, it's your friends, your family will be the first kind of followers, and then it just branches out from there, and people will ask, do you have a Facebook page? We'll leave you a review, or all this sort of stuff, right? Like,
definitely.
Honestly, it sounds quite similar to most people. I guess, why would you change it if it's working, Like, and I guess some people might struggle. It depends where they are, Like, location wise, is there like a lot of shops around you, or is there like no shops around you and not really a desire for a barbershop, and you have to work that little bit harder? But I know Sam would say the same, that he was nervous the first day I opened the doors because he was like, shit, is anyone going to turn up? You know, that kind of feeling of like, okay, well, here we are now and let's see what happens.
Yep. Yeah.
Was that scary for you guys?
I was terrified. My partner has a good following. So a lot of my haircuts came from there. But yeah, I was like, oh man, it's going to take me like 2 years to get a clientele. No, it happened a lot quicker, I guess. Being in town, I mean, the CBD here has gone a little downhill.
Has it?
But yeah, just the businesses around you, you sort of network with them.
Yeah. And when you're in town, it feels like you're kind of, when people walk past your shop every day, eventually they're going to be intrigued enough to sort of pop in, Like there's something really powerful with location. I think it's overlooked by a lot of barbershops. And I think Sam would admit that a lot of his success has to be owed to his location because, if you were out in the burbs and out of sight, out of mind, and not easily accessible, so people can pop in your lunch break and the morning tea break, after work.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be easily accessible, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'd love to pick your mind on a few other things, business related. Mm-hmm. Pricing. How do you approach pricing in your shop, and what's your sort of approach to it and formula? If you have any sort of like, are you looking at shops around you? Are you just sort of going off your kind of what I need to make, how much money I need to make to survive, pay rent, blah, 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 blah. How do you approach the pricing in your store?
I would say it would definitely be just genuinely what I think my haircuts are worth. I've spent a lot of money studying. I've got a massive student loan. But like I said before, all of that study has helped a lot. Also, shops around, what are they charging? I mean, I had a friend say to me the other day, who also is a barber, like the price of coffee has gone up. So why on earth would our haircuts not go up? And I was like, well, yeah, I'll probably put my prices up again soon.
and like, you're so right. Like just services are going up, and then also rent goes up and everything goes up. And I totally hear you. And it's hard to make that jump. We've talked with some of our other guests, like when do you put your prices up and how do you approach it with your customers? Because you don't want to put them off. But then, like we have to get real. Like we have to make money. We're in it to make money. So, like how do you, have you had to put your prices up recently, or how do you approach that?
Yep, I've put my prices up since we opened. It was when I started getting fully booked out quite often. So like, I don't really take walk-ins anymore because everyone just knows every time they walk in, I'm like, book online, sorry. And I don't have someone else with me, so I can't, it's tricky. And, it's hard on your body, everything. Just trying to squeeze people in, like, I'll stay a bit later or I'll open up earlier, which I still do now. But at some point, you sort of want to have less clients and put your prices up.
Absolutely, totally. Yeah, more time, higher value. Yeah.
Upskilling, if you're paying to upskill, then put your prices up.
Are you doing training? Like, is that something that you're doing?
Yep. And I'm still going to do some more workshops. I'll continue doing that forever,
You don't just stop learning when you leave barber school, or...
No way.
Anything like that. I mean, even like online, it sounds silly, but like maybe I might be off the beat here, obviously not a barber, but it seems like a lot of barbers use social media as a learning tool as well, right? Would you say that's true?
Yeah. There's heaps that have just learnt off YouTube and they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also like, barbers are starting to do more as well. I think they're sort of heading into the hairdressing industry. They're doing perms and bleaching. We're doing facials. There's new technology. There's steamers for cutthroat shaves. There's just so many things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And do you guys offer full service? Like you do pretty much a whole suite of services in your barbershop?
Yeah, I do haircuts, beards, cutthroat shaves, nose waxing, nostril waxing,
Nice.
ear waxing. Yeah.
That's cool. That'd be different to some people, but also a service that is it surprisingly popular, like for
It
some
is
guys?
super surprisingly, yeah. Everyone that I've waxed their nostrils, that all of them have come back. So can't be that
Nice.
painful.
Wicked. Guys are wussy with anything like that though, eh?
Yeah.
Competitions, are you sort of into competitions? Do you do anything like that, or do you find them, is that something that's valuable, or is it sort of something that is too hard basket when you're already like running a business, when you're cutting every day? Is it, how do you view competitions?
I think they're a great thing to do, just for meeting people as well, the networking. But there hasn't really been any around that I've seen. I mean, there was a lot, but there was COVID got in the way of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I know there was some over in Aussie a couple of weeks ago they had a barber expo on over there. That would have been awesome to go to. But for me, with the tutoring and stuff at the moment, just would probably be too much right now. But I do think it's a good thing that barbers should continue doing.
Are you quite connected with sort of barbers in your area, or barbers online? Like communities don't have to be in physical spaces, obviously. Like some people are in smaller towns and stuff and have sort of like a network of barbers that they, follow, but also like kind of are friends with online. But also in your area, are you sort of quite connected, and what do you get out of those relationships? You really enjoy being connected with other barbers and other barbershops?
Yeah, definitely. Most barbershops around here I chat to, heaps people online, here in New Zealand and overseas. I go have coffees with other barbershop owners. Yeah.
Overall, do you find them is it like quite a supportive? Do you feel like it's quite it's not like a, hey, I'm out to beat you kind of thing. It's more like if you do well and I do well, then like that's kind of cool, rather than a straight competition kind of vibe.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel like it should be. If you do well, I do well. If I'm busy, there's at least 5 I can think of right now that I'd recommend people to. I don't think you have to just go to one barbershop. If that person's busy and you need a haircut now and you want to go somewhere else, it's good to recommend a friend or someone
I
that
love
can.
that. It's such a fresh approach, because some people can be quite protective over their customers, eh? And we've talked to and we've talked to some guests in the past who've said that's so detrimental actually, even though it feels like in the moment that I want to hold on to these customers. That actually that can end up in the long run kind of turning them off a little bit if you're you feel embarrassed if you have to go to another barber, or you got your haircut else somewhere, like that kind of feel.
Yeah.
You've seen the memes, eh? Or the TikToks where you cheat on your barber, eh?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's a super bad, unless you've been growing it out for a certain thing and then they come back with it shaved off, and then they want to grow it out again. It's like,
But, totally.
I mean, it's our job. So, yeah.
Don't get too precious about it, eh? Don't get too...
Nah, you just look silly.
Yeah, totally. I'd love to ask, obviously you're the one barber at the moment. Have you got sort of aspirations for having some staff, or is that something that you're not interested in? I'm interested to hear your thoughts either way, because some people love being the one man kind of barber shop and just rolling that. And then some people are like, I can't wait to grow a team and then maybe eventually pull back from that and sort of, have this sort of business, this income that I don't have to be working in directly, What's your sort of goal, long-term goals with it all?
Mine would be I've got 2 stations here, so definitely have someone else with me at some stage.
Cool.
But I'm definitely I enjoy, well, I'm not on my own because I've got the guys at the back, but I feel like I'm in control when it's just me. But yeah, there are days where, if I get the flu or something or sick, who do I pass my bookings on to? Apart from the other ones around town, but they're always booked as well. So it'd be good to have someone else in here eventually.
Are you just sort of thinking when you're in a certain spot or when the certain person comes along that you're like, we click, what is there sort of like a certain person, is it? Yeah.
Harder, yeah, definitely. Or an apprentice as well. If I can get my level 4 and give someone a proper apprenticeship.
Awesome. And long-term game for you, do you see yourself in the industry, say, for example, in 10 years' time? Do you see yourself much doing pretty much the same kind of thing, or do you have sort of aspirations to where you want to be in 10 years' time within the barbering industry?
10 years, yes. I'll definitely still be in the industry.
Cool.
I don't know, maybe I'll be full-time tutoring, maybe I'll just still be ticking along. Yeah. I'm not too sure.
But still around, eh?
Still around, yeah. 100. Yeah.
Cool. I think I've covered most of the things here. Is there anything else that that you think may be useful for listeners, either if they're business owners like you, like yourself, or, barbers who are sort of listening, especially, I think, like different stages of careers, different people are kind of interested in different things. Like we have some young listeners that are kind of interested in like, what should my next move be? How can I climb the ranks? And then we've got people sort of like maybe more where you're at, who may be not owning their own shop and considering opening their own shop. I'd be interested to see what you would say to those people, because I think there's quite a few around that are like, like I've worked for this person for 10 years and I've done great work and I'm ready for the next step. And a lot of people assume that maybe opening your own shop. What would you say to those people, and maybe some things to consider before just quitting and doing it?
Honestly, just do it. Yeah. Yeah. Just do it and see what happens. Yeah, figure it out along the way. Seems to be working well for me.
I love that. Cool. And it's probably it's a safe bet. I mean, you can always go back to employment, right? Like it's not like, especially if you approach it properly and you don't burn all your bridges on your way out. A lot of people have done it and tried, and if it doesn't work, or if for whatever reason you want to go back to employment, I mean, you can do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason why you couldn't. Yeah.
Wicked. Love it, Sammy. You've had some awesome insights. I'd love to finish with, we've been trying to do this for most of our guests, kind of like a rapid fire session, just so that we can get some interesting information out of you with in a quick amount of time. Don't think about the prompts too much, but just sort of give us your sort of first thing that comes to mind with a few of these prompts to see if we can get some more information out of you. So the first one is,
okay.
Are you ready? I should say.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. So what is one of the harder techniques you believe to master?
Skin fade.
Skin fade. Nice.
Yeah.
What is the most challenging hair type for you?
Long hair? Is that a type?
Nice. I don't think you'd be alone.
Yeah, or Asian hair.
Yes, thick.
Yeah,
thick and
straight.
Yeah, totally. Thick,
Silky.
straight hair.
Yep.
Yep. The dream hair for us, not so thick, curly, straighty. What about tricks for thin or thinning hair? Do you have anything that comes to mind?
shave it off.
A lot of guys should, I agree.
Depends how thinning. Otherwise, invest in a blow dryer and a good grooming spray or thickening spray.
Nice.
Yeah.
To give it a bit of body and
Yeah,
make it appear thicker than it actually is.
yeah, it's the illusion.
It's all about the illusion, eh? Walk-ins or appointments?
Appointments.
Nice. Your desert island tool, if you could only take one tool to a desert island, what would it be?
Ghost trimmers from Teapot.
Your favorite method for physical recovery, because we know barbering is a physical job and especially, long days on your feet. What's your favorite way to sort of physically recover?
A bath with Epsom salts.
Nice. Totally. That magnesium, eh? Good for muscle recovery.
Yeah.
And your favorite, on the other side of things, what's your favorite method for mental recovery? Because it is also a very mentally draining job at times.
Martial arts. Gym.
Cool. What are you into?
I want to get into jiu-jitsu, but I need my wrists and my shoulders. And Muay Thai. Love, just getting some anger out.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, eh? Like release.
Yeah.
Because although your job's physical, you're still standing there. Like you're not like moving around a lot, right? So it's kind of frustration can build up, and tension, and can get stressed and all that kind of thing. So it's good to totally.
I'm all of 5'1", so I'm always very I get sore.
Have you got a good barber chair in terms of height, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah. But there's still like my partner's 6'5".
So you're up here, eh?
Yeah, I make him crouch down to my level. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Oh, thanks so much, Sammy. Really appreciate your time and
Thank you.
hearing your experiences and your story is inspiring for a lot of people. I'm sure, a lot of people would come to this industry similar to you, where they've tried a bunch of things or maybe they're about to come into the barbering industry and they're like, maybe this is the thing. And it's kind of cool to hear that you had an idea of what you wanted to do, but you didn't know exactly what it would look like. And, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you well and thanks so much for taking the time and we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah. Thank you.